Hi, I'm Steve Gompertz of QRx Partners, and welcome to this week's Quality Heretic. This week, we are going to focus on everyone's favorite root cause, user error or operator error, whichever one you want to call it. This seems like one of these, preaching to the choir kind of topics, because I'm sure if I asked everybody out there, would you accept user error as a legitimate root cause? You'd go, no, of course not. Yet it's still so prevalent. And just about every organization I go into when I'm doing, an audit or an assessment of their CAPA processes or anywhere else they're doing root cause, it's still the number one, cause associated with any problem is it comes back to, some sort of form of user error. And I don't understand it because every quality professional is saying we understand it's not legitimate, and it shouldn't be there, yet it is, which means that either, there's not proper oversight of the process by the quality organization and the people that should know better, or I don't know, or you're just kidding yourselves and you don't actually know that it's not supposed to be there. I hope the latter is not true, and that everybody's nodding their head right now, going, "Of course we wouldn't do this," but let's talk about it anyway, because we know it is so prevalent. The problem here is that you don't treat a nonconformance investigation like you would a criminal investigation. They're not the same kind of concept, right? Obviously, in a criminal investigation, you're trying to figure out who the perpetrator is, right? In a quality nonconformance investigation, that's not at all what you're trying to do. It's not about finger pointing, it's not about blame. It's about understanding how did the process not or allow this or not prevent it, right? It's about the process, not about the people. The people just happen to participate in the process. It is rarely related to the people. And even when it is the people, it's some other process that failed, right? That enabled this to happen, enable the operators to make the error one way or another. So you've got to get out of that mindset, right, of trying to place blame. And I get it. Sometimes that's just part of the culture of companies and management. You need to work towards changing that culture and understanding that buys you nothing when you do it that way. The goal of root cause analysis is to, again, figure out what's wrong with the process. That will help prevent any problems with the people. The people participating will be happier, management will be happier, quality will be happier, the clients, your customers will be happier. Focus on the process. That's where the root causes exist, and that's what you want to go after. Retraining, or worst case, firing an employee, those are examples of corrections, right? They do not prevent recurrence. Correction is simply returning it to a state of conformance, right? Something that's non-conforming, we rework it, we correct the issue, but it doesn't mean it won't happen again, right? You can retrain every day and people will still make mistakes, right, in the wrong process. You can fire an employee who did something really horrendously wrong. Doesn't mean you're not going to hire somebody else who's going to do it again or some other employee is going to do it. Corrective actions are about how do we know what really led to this so that we can prevent that and keep it from occurring again. Okay. Typically, again, the people in the process are not really the issue. And with user error comes our other favorite, our second favorite root cause, and that's inadequate training. Right? It always leads right from one to the other, and that's another kind of myth that the training is the issue. Oh, it was insufficient training. We didn't train them enough, or the training wasn't good enough, so we're going to redesign the training to be better. Okay. And we lose sight of the fact that maybe what we're trying to train them on is a really bad process. And all the great training in the world isn't going to make that process work any better because it's only got certain capabilities and it's designed with those flaws in it, right? And you're not going to be able to train around that. So again, we're always back to focus on the process. Then it'll get a lot easier to deal with the people, right? And train them appropriately and effectively and feel assured that they're going to know what to do in the right way and become, proficient at this. Now, I always get this one as a pushback. Well, wait a minute, Steve. But what if the employee did it intentionally? Then it's clearly user error, right? It's malicious intent. And I go, well, that might be a good reason for firing. I get it, right? It's probably a good cause. You don't want people doing intentionally incorrect things, but I'm still going to come back to Why did the process allow that to happen? If it was so critical, right? So risky, why wasn't that accounted for in the process, right? Somebody changed the settings on the machine, whether accidental or intentionally. Why is that? If that's critical to the process performing correctly, then why is it possible for anybody to change the settings either way, like I said, accidentally or intentionally? Why is there not some sort of lockable cover or password protected interface, right? These are the kind of things we miss is going, well, if it's that important, then the process should have been designed to address that so that it doesn't become a possibility. So let's get out of all these sort of, excuses and do the hard work, which is make the process right in the first place. And then we won't have to worry about stressing out all the people in that process. As always, I look forward to your comments and getting a discussion going. So please, right away, and then we'll see you next week.